Welcome to Codex History of Video Games. I'm Mike Coletta.
And I am Tyler Osby.
And you may have noticed we are on audio only this week.
That's a fact.
And the irony is we are together in person.
We are in the same room, which somehow makes it harder to record video.
Yeah, our setups are entirely set up to have us record remotely video.
Yeah, we don't have a good setup to be on the same camera together.
Believe it or not, we don't have the production value for a studio that's ready 24/7. We don't have that.
Yeah, and also, ironically, our podcast producer, Luna, is deaf.
She is. That's true.
That's the dog.
But we love her. She's great.
Yeah.
And Delilah's pissed off at her week off, but it's okay. She'll
Yeah.
get over it. But so today we're doing something that kind of came up because you and I went to California Adventure yesterday.
That's true. We did.
So, and at California Adventure, there's a couple rides that I'm going to say are more video game than ride.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fair to say that. And one of those we learned had a pay to win element to it. We're going to talk about it in the middle of the podcast today, but that's what's brought this all on. So we wanted to have a little discussion about pay to win. We haven't had a discussion episode in a while.
Yeah.
So it sounded nice.
Yeah, and we have been hanging out and going to Disneyland and stuff instead of doing research for like a more in-depth history episode.
Yeah. So sue us, everybody, but don't.
But don't. We have
no money. We have zero money if you sue us. We're in deep, deep trouble.
Codex LLC is not real.
It's not real and it's not profitable. I'll tell you that much. But so let's just start off by saying, what is pay to win? What's your definition of pay to win?
My definition of pay to win is when a game sells things in the game that change the gameplay in a way that can give you an advantage over somebody else who does not do that. And this as a broad, like it's not just PvP games, I don't think.
Yeah, it's PvE also.
Because games where you're competing for a high score, which is what we're going to talk about later, games where you're competing for a high score are also competitive in a way, even if you're not like looking at somebody in their eyes while you shoot web slings.
For sure.
Right.
And games that have a even games like I was thinking about this with like Candy Crush.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can pay to get more gems to speed up in Candy Crush. And I know a lot of people that would play that game would compare like what level they're on to each other as a way to like gauge where you're at in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But that by means that you could pay a bunch of money to rush it so you can keep playing, whereas someone's waiting legitimately for them to get more. I don't know if it's like energy or whatever they call it. So you can keep playing levels.
Yeah,
of Candy
I think
Crush.
you like get a certain amount of lives per day or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. So it's very much a PvE, PvP thing, I would argue. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about too with our definition is there's a difference between, and I think this seems pretty obvious, but we might as well just state it, buying content for a game, like where we look at DLC, like a downloadable content pack, versus pay to win.
Yeah. There is a gray area, I suppose, if the DLC, like by completing the DLC, you get like some weapon or something that is like better than what everybody else will have. That's where it starts to get weird. And then it becomes a little bit more about like what the expectations are. Like for a game like Destiny, right? If you don't buy some of the expansions, you are going to not be able to get some of the weapons. I still wouldn't classify that as pay to win.
Yeah, but what's funny is the internet does consider it pay to win because there's a couple websites I went on that considered the Destiny specific battle pass as pay to win because you get access to these guns before other people do.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, PvP in Destiny was never really balanced to begin with. And on top of that, like you're really just trying to, I mean, I guess it'd be for world's first raid. If maybe one of the guns is broken in a raid,
yeah,
that would cause a problem. But I just wanted to throw that out there because most time you're buying DLC, that's not pay to win. That's just you're buying the content in the game. But there are exceptions.
Yeah, yeah. And also when it comes to DLC, to me, I think there being sort of a limit where it's like you can buy all the expansions and then that's it. There's not like you can like continually buy things to give you an advantage in that way, at least in Destiny, right? I think that makes a difference too, where it's like, is there a limit to what you can pay? Because some games are like, you can just pay for extra lives forever. And like that feels pay to win because you could spend thousands of dollars on winning. Right?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of our definition. Do you have any additions you want to add on to that definition?
There was one thing I wanted to say about why pay to win exists.
Oh, yeah.
And pay to win exists. One of the big reasons I think of the idea, and this is a gambling term, is the idea of whales. Like people that are willing to spend all that money. That's why this happens, right? Because there are people out there that spend money. If you complain about the cost of like a weapon skin in a video game, like it is way too expensive. Well, guess what? someone's buying it. That's why it's that price, right? And that's the reason that pay to win exists also, is there are people that are willing to pay money to do that. And that's not good or bad. I think that's just how people are, like the nature of people, right? So you're not really going to be able to avoid that.
When it comes to the integrity of the skill in a game, though, I think it definitely matters, right? Where it's like if somebody just bought their way to level 10 million versus earned their way to level 10 million, one of those is more impressive than the other.
We're going to have a glaring example of why that term whale is so important in the context of gambling when we talk about one of our games today, because it was an issue of gambling. So we'll talk about that. Well, certain countries in Europe considered it gambling, I should say. But do we want to get into some of these games?
Yeah.
So there are some games we've gotten about, what do you say? I would say 3 games today that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
There's a big varying difference between all 3 of them, I think, which is why we picked these. They're all historical, as in they happened kind of in the 20 teens, except for the one that we're going to talk about that's at the California Adventure.
Or California Adventure.
But so the first one I'm going to talk about is a game that actually the original versions of these games I love. It's called Dungeon Keeper. Are you familiar with Dungeon Keeper?
Just vaguely as a concept, where you basically play the boss of a dungeon. Right?
Yeah, you play you're building the dungeon. So the game originally, it was made by Peter Molyneux. It was very much like a cool, you're a dungeon management sim and you have a dungeon heart that you're trying to protect, and adventurers come in. You can build traps. You can have imps that control it. It's got that Peter Molyneux humor to it, where you can like slap the imps to make them work faster and all that stuff, right? So that game was a classic. It came out, I want to say, in like the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And then they remade it for mobile in 2014. There was some hype around it because everyone's like, Dungeon Keeper's back. And then it turned out to be pay to win slop, is how I'm going to describe it. And I think calling it pay to win slop is fine. The game was discontinued in 2022. But there is an Escapist magazine review of Dungeon Keeper by Jim Sterling, who's a reviewer that I love.
Yeah.
And I find them very funny. And they eviscerate Dungeon Keeper. And that's what I used for this. I used that. And then there was also a article I found that, oh gosh, I didn't cite the source. Now I feel like a loser, but that's okay. I'll find the source and I'll cite it in Discord later. But so let's just talk about, Jim Sterling says, quote, "It isn't a game, it's a cynically fabricated cash delivery system," end quote. It's what they call it in their review. And how does this happen? Well, what you do is it does the classic pay to win strategy of time. Like it time gates you. So in the original Dungeon Keeper, you would have your imps like remove a block of the dungeon to like make paths or build a room. If you do that in the 2014 remake of Dungeon Keeper, it would say this is going to take X amount of hours in real life time to complete unless you buy gems to make it go faster. The problem with this, while phone games do that now, they usually wait to do that for like 4 or 5 hours, try to get you in, right? This did it off the rip. It was just like instantly, like the first time you build a dungeon area, it's like, no, you gotta wait 4 hours.
Yeah, or you can give us $2.
Exactly. So it was really messed up. And then, so you have that going for this game. It's already making people hate the game. Even Peter Molyneux commented on it because he wasn't involved in it. He's like, this seems like, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know? But there is also a part, and this is the other story I found, where EA was also accused of rigging the Google Play Store. This is not necessarily pay to win, but it's just so interesting. I wanted to bring it up. What they would do is, here, I'll just read the quote from the article. It says, quote, "Dungeon Keeper currently holds a 4.2 rating in the Google Play Store, with a majority of the reviews at 5 stars. In comparison, the Apple iOS App Store doesn't redirect users if they make a lower than 5-star review," which is what they were doing.
Oh, like, because when it pops up in the app, it's like, hey, rate us. And, and on the Google Play version, if you put 1 star, they can be like, just kidding, we're not going to take you.
They would actually have you send them an email. They would redirect you an email, but they couldn't do that in the Apple Store. So continuing the quote, it says, "As a result, ratings spreads appeared much different, with Dungeon Keeper averaging 3 stars on the Apple Store, spread out between 5-star and 1-star ratings." And they actually have a side-by-side picture of the Google Play Store having a 4.2 and the Apple Play Store having a 3. So it's kind of, they did so many trashy things with this game when you think about it. And it's predatory, but I bet you there were probably people that still played it.
Yeah.
Because that's the way the world works, unfortunately. And I just think of, when I think of pay to win, I think of this game, and then I think of our third game. But we kind of wanted to do a fun little Disney interlude.
Yeah. We'll
So,
The thing that gets me about games like Dungeon Keeper, where it's like pay for time, basically where things are
Yeah.
time gated, is I think it gives a little bit of plausible deniability to the developer to be able to say, or the public, the people making the game to be able to say, well, there's nothing you can't do if you don't pay, right? Like you just get it faster if you pay, and so there's still some skill here. You're not like, we're not rigging the game in favor of, right? But the time periods that you have to wait those are not game design decisions. Those are human brain, like what will someone tolerate decisions, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we're balancing it. 4 hours is like balanced because of like, here's our like philosophy on the design of the game. It's like, no, because we figured out 4 hours is the number that makes people pay money.
Yeah.
Which all games are a little bit like that. Like
They
I
do
understand
that.
where every game is like sort of tapping into your dopamine system to like try to make you buy something, but it just feels so much more cynical when it's like just like laid out in front of you.
Yeah, or to make you keep playing. Like, I mean, even
Yeah.
like Destiny does that, where it's like FOMO time. And I'm saying even Destiny. We all know Destiny's done some predatory things.
Yeah,
in the
they're
past.
not perfect.
They're not innocent by any means.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But I will say
even
pay to win in terms
Yeah,
of Destiny is not really.
it's
been a
not
thing.
really pay to win. It's more just like the idea of you want to keep playing, you don't want to miss out. It's FOMO. It's
Yeah.
FOMO is what it is.
That's a whole nother discussion that
is
I
a
would love
whole-
to.
Yeah, we could get into that one day. By the way, that article is from the International Business Times that I found that has that
Wow.
on there. I pulled it from my search history.
That
Well,
sounds really official.
yeah. Also, I want to mention too, if you're a Dungeon Keeper fan, this is not really related to the pay to win part, but it's a critique. The art style looks so cartoony compared to the old Dungeon
Is it
Keeper.
not good because of that?
It's like, here, look at that photo. That's what the guy looks like. Remember the horned guy? Have you seen vague images of him
No,
before?
no. I don't-
like
yeah, I don't
they
know
turn
it.
him into a Looney Tunes character in the
Oh.
phone version versus he was kind of like actually scary in the old PC version. You're like, ooh, spooky, right? So there's that going on. But that was my first example of pay to win. Tyler, I believe you're going to talk about our experience in California Adventures.
Yeah. So in California Adventure, there is a Avengers ride called Webslingers. That's it's very Peter Parker, Spider-Man themed.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole game is they have this really cool technology that like sort of reads your arms and hands, so that you can do a little web sling motion. And the game is like a shooting game where you're just like slinging webs at spiders.
Isn't it almost like a Kinect? Because it's wireframes you, just like it would on the Kinect.
Yeah, it's actually I bet it's like an upgraded version of that. Might even just be exactly the same. Might not even be upgraded. Who knows? Maybe there's a Kinect in the car. I don't know.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be
in
funny.
the Slinger vehicle.
Yeah,
Sling R.
the Sling R. It's a cool game. It's like if you've played like Toy Story Midway Mania or any of those things that like take you through a thing where you just like shoot stuff. Like that's what you're doing. You're just shooting webs and you're trying to get a high score and you're competing with the people in your car, but then you all get a combined score at the end. It's very cool. It's fun. It's all Peter Parker themed. It's great.
And I'm going to say this. It's a ride, but I would say it's more a video game.
Yeah.
It's like it's a you sit in a cart to play a video game. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
yeah. And then it like plays the whole.
Which isn't bad.
Yeah. No,
It's fun.
It's fine. Yeah. But where it goes wrong and what sparked this today, this discussion is at the store outside of this ride, you can buy like a web slinger attachment for your hands, like in
Mhm.
real life, like a physical
And it's
piece of plastic.
$35.
It's $35. That's the base.
What?
If you buy the $35 thing, you basically every time you shoot a web, it shoots like off in 3 directions. So immediately right there, you're definitely going to get
You get
a higher
shotgun
score.
webs?
You get shotgun webs immediately. That's not a skill thing. It feels very pay to win. Your score is just going to be higher because of that. They also sell 4 attachments that are $20 or $30 each.
Wait, so we're talking about $155 if you go all in on this.
Yeah. Well, there's 4 different attachments. There's like a Peter Parker, there's a Spider-Man attachment, a Spider-Gwen attachment, an Iron Man attachment, and a Rescue attachment. And the Spider ones are the same, and the Iron Man ones are the same. So there's really only 2 differences here.
Okay, so it's 2.
Yeah. And the Spider-Man one sends out like a electroshock thing that like I can get you more points, I guess. And then the Iron Man was like a repulsor thing that I think also maybe I actually don't know entirely how it all works. But anyway, if you look at the scoreboard after, you can kind of see how they do like the, hey, top this hour, top this week, top this month kind of thing. And you can see the ones that are at the top are the ones that have bought the thing.
Yep.
So if you want to be competitive in this game, and look, I know it's a silly theme park ride. It doesn't need to be competitive, but it's like if you want to get on the leaderboard, you have to buy the thing.
The reason, so I'm going to say this, like, because Tyler is being very diplomatic about this, being like, it's not, because you even told me, you're like, you don't think it's that big of it. It's not.
I mean, it's a theme park. Like,
it's a theme park.
nobody's going to Worlds for.
We're going with our Disney friend Jared, who is very much a Disney person. And the running joke, by the way, is I'm not a Disney adult while I'm covered in Disney stuff. So that's fun.
Yeah, Mike's not a Disney adult.
I'm not a Disney adult. He says covered with a lanyard.
How many times have you been to Disney parks this year, Mike?
I don't want to talk about
it.
Okay. But yeah, so we go. And our friend Jared's like, oh, you want to see the pay to win stuff? And I'm like, what? And then he takes us into the store and shows us all this stuff. And then we looked at the leaderboards, and yeah, it's like my car scored like 400,000, and the high is like 1 million.
Yeah,
it's like that much of a point disparity. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
for money, you gotta pay money.
And to pay money, and then you get this hunk of plastic. I mean, I guess if you're like a kid, that's like kind of fun. You can take it home and
yeah,
play with it. You do get to keep it. Yeah,
if you use, you know what? I'm gonna take it. If you're a kid and you buy this thing and it encourages you to use your imagination and go outside and pretend to be Spider-Man, more power to you.
Yeah.
I guess that's fine.
Yeah. It's worth it as like a hunk of plastic that makes some noise that like you can give to a kid, I suppose. And then it also gives you those advantages in the game. And again, look, it's a theme park ride. Like there's no professionals here, right? No one cares that it's pay to win. But we were talking about it and just being like, yeah, feels kind of bad. Like it makes me not want to go for any sort of high score. Like I might have rode that a couple of times to try to get a better score. But I'm like, but I'm not going to buy that.
But now that you know it's pay to win, it's kind of like it takes you kind of out of it. It's a fine ride. I think we both agree the other video game ride is by far more superior. And I'll let you talk about this because it's your baby. This is your favorite game.
The Toy Story Midway Mania?
That's your favorite game. That's your favorite ride in the whole park, right?
Yeah. Toy Story Midway Mania is my favorite ride at California Adventure. And it's a similar thing of like, it's a lot of different carnival games of throwing, like you throw pies in one of them, you throw darts in another one, but you have a little like gun thing that you shoot. And it's just very fun. You just try to hit targets and there's no pay to win, but you can unlock secrets if you know what you're doing. You can unlock like all of the high point value stuff. So that's the one that I do love to go back and ride over and over and over again, but the line is so long.
But you can also team up with people to get the high scores too.
Yeah.
Like that's what our friend was telling us about. And shout out to Jared again, who's really into this stuff. I'm sure he's watched YouTube videos where you can like, if you and the person you're partnered with in the same car know what they're doing, you can get it so it pushes the highest score items to go up faster, which means you get more points. And that score is crazy, but that's skill based.
Yeah, it's skill based. It's knowing the secrets. It's getting good at aiming. But with the web slinger thing, it's like, if I didn't buy the thing, I know I'm not going to win. So
it's just a bummer too, because the web slinger thing is newer, which means someone was like, hey, we could totally make them pay a little more money to get higher scores. We could totally do that.
Yeah.
Which is wild, you know?
Yeah, and there hasn't been very much backlash to it from what I can find on the internet, so they'll probably do a lot more of that in the future. Also, that one in particular is an arm workout. My arms are sore today just from riding that one time.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah. But anyway, I know it's just a silly theme park ride. It's not that serious. It's fine. We just were inspired to talk about that today because of that theme park ride.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's the second of our three games we're going to talk about. And the third one, I think, is probably the most famous of our pay to win issues, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh man, this is I don't want to say the original bad boy of pay to win, but
it's up there.
It is one that got the most flack.
Yeah, and this is right before we started the podcast when this happened. To give you a timing wise, this was 2017.
Yeah, which means we've been doing this a long time because now things that were new then are history now.
Are history now. That's right. So if you weren't aware, here's the deal with Star Wars Battlefront 2. This came out in 2017, and there was a star card system. There was a star card system in Battlefront 1, the remake of Battlefront, but there's a star card system in 2. And what that was is you would get these cards, and they were ranged from common, uncommon, rare to epic, a lot like a trading card game, right? And they would give you powers. Mm-hmm. So the example they say that's one of the most overpowered ones when this came out was the Assault Class Survivalist star card can decrease health generation delays by up to 40%. So you regen health 40% faster, which is in a PvP game it's a pretty big deal.
You could buy that like you were buying booster packs that would give you this stuff.
You were buying loot boxes that could have it. You were gambling. This is gambling, okay? I mean, I don't think there's any way to get around the fact that it's gambling, and a lot of people saw it that way. But the controversy was opened up when in the beta people realized that the star cards were giving you these loot boxes, and you could grind these really long-term missions to get crystals to buy loot boxes, but you could also just pay money for crystals.
Mhm. See, and that's what it's time gating. It's the same thing as Dungeon Keeper, right?
Yeah, it's just a different form of time gating. Yeah, it's like, do you want to grind for it, or do you want to just pay the money now and make it go faster? So there was that element to it. And then when you get the money, you would buy the loot boxes. So essentially, there was a group that it divided the player base into two different groups, right? It divided the player base into people that played the game for countless hours to try to unlock stuff, and the people that actually earned more by doing less by just paying money. So they're not probably as good as the people in the first column because they haven't played the game as much, but they have the best cards.
Mm-hmm.
And this created a disparity between players.
Yeah, and it's hard to know, like, if you get killed, did you die because they were just better than you, or did you die because they paid more money than you? And if it's because they paid more money than you, then it feels like, well, outside of the, like, it just feels wrong to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Know?
And
Like, the person with the most money is not the person who should win. It should be the person with the most skill.
Exactly. And the thing that actually made this gambling is Belgium and the Netherlands banned these loot box sales in 2018. I was looking up the countries that did it because there were certain countries that banned these, and that's how you know it got really bad. So what ended up happening is Battlefront removed all of the microtransactions from the game, and then it kind of stayed stagnant for a while. But in the last 2 years, we've seen this like resurgence of Battlefront 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot thanks to the modding community. It's actually, I believe, called Star Wars Resurgence. Star Wars Battlefront 2 Resurgence is the name of like the event they were doing.
Like the movement.
Yeah, they were trying to get it bigger. So the modding scene has made it so there's like, you really don't rely on the base game anymore. It's better to play the game with the mods. And that's where more people play now. But they've added so much to the game. Also, I read another thing. I didn't write this down, so I'm going a little off memory here, where a guy got super mad because he bought like 60,000 crystals in this game, spent a lot of money, and then found out he couldn't use them on heroes. Because you think like you could buy the heroes, but they made it so no, the heroes you have to grind the game to play. It's these loot boxes. It's just gambling.
So the pay to win guy was mad it wasn't pay to win enough.
Exactly. He wanted to pay to win to play as Darth Vader. So yeah, it's pretty rough, man. It's a rough go. And I was really stoked for this game when it came out too.
Yeah.
I remember being stoked for this game.
They made a lot of changes. I mean, I know you were talking about the resurgence stuff, but they made a lot of changes shortly after this. Like this did not go well.
It didn't go very well.
It's
for
the most
them.
downvoted comment on Reddit still.
Oh,
The pride and accomplishment one. Like they're like, why did you make it so long? And they're like, we wanted to give players a sense of pride and accomplishment in what they have unlocked.
Downvote.
Yeah, it's like hundreds of thousands of downvotes.
Dude, it's so bad. I remember really being bummed out because I wanted to play this game because it also had a single player campaign. The Battlefront 1 remake did not have a single player game, so they made the Battlefront 2 remake had this like story where you were like a defector from the Empire, and it was kind of cool. And then I was playing that. That was actually pretty fun.
I need to play that.
It's a good campaign. But then at least my memory thinks it's a good campaign. I mean, who knows if it actually is? But yeah, so it was just the multiplayer part that was problematic. So they ended up removing all the microtransactions and making some changes and bringing it back. And then over the last 2 years, almost 10 years after release, it's kind of had this resurgence of people being like, oh, this is the game we wanted it to be in 2018.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm glad that they came back around.
Yeah. That's my... Those are our 3 examples, but we have a little bit more to talk about here.
Yeah. I just had a note here about like my line for where this feels bad is when I can tell that the design of the game has been compromised in order to like try to sell me stuff, which I know that's what a game designer is doing, is trying to make a game that you find good so that you will pay money for it. That's not what I'm talking about here. It's like the time gating stuff where it's like we have figured out what the optimal number is for time gating. Not because it's what's right for the game, but because it's what's right for people to pay money. That feels really bad. It reminds me of like the separation between like a newspaper, like between the people who sell the ads and the people who write the articles. Like those two should not influence each other at all, right? If a person who has bought ads is like coming in to try to get you to not write stories about them or to do stuff like that compromises the integrity of the publication, right? And so that's what I want when it's like I want the developers to work on making a fun game, and the people who like want to make money, make the game make money. They should figure out a way to do that without disturbing the developers as much as possible.
Definitely, right? Yeah.
right? Like when you sell cosmetics, hey, I don't always love it, but at least I know the game is uncompromised, right? The game is still the game. You can look cool while you play it. Okay, fine. I understand. It's the capitalism. We got to make money somehow. It's all good.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I have some honorable mentions about
Oh,
of
other
these
pay to
two-
wins.
other pay to wins when I was doing
Pays to
some
win?
searching for it. There's a game called APB Reloaded that was apparently really bad with pay to wins.
Mm.
And I actually, so I'm not talking about this one intentionally because I want to see if any of our listeners have any insight. If anyone that's listening played APB Reloaded, please send us an email because I want to know why this game's interesting. It was a Grand Theft Auto clone, for lack of a better term, and it was an MMO style. So I want to know how this one was really bad. So let us know. I also put Destiny Rising on this list because I played it a little bit while we were hanging out because you were helping me with my Retroid and getting that going. And I played some Destiny Rising, and I thought it was funny that they definitely have loot boxes where you can pay to
Mhm.
get better guns and characters and stuff like that. And then
It's just a gotcha game. It's Destiny, but with gotcha behind it. It's still fun. Like
Oh, it
shooting
was
aliens
fun.
is fun.
it's cool too. It's amazing that they put this on a phone. Also, it's
Yeah.
great. And then the other ones example that I have are like Clash of Clans and other base building style phone games. I actually have a story about this because there was a game that was like Clash of Clans, but it was modern military, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger was their spokesperson. All right, I want to say it was called like War something. It's not War Thunder. It's like a RTS kind of style where you build a base and people attack your base.
Mm.
And I was playing this, and my brother really liked it a lot. And he's like, "You could play with me in my clan." And I was like, "Okay." I got kicked out of the clan because I didn't play enough.
You were dragging him down.
I was dragging the clan down. They're like, "Yeah, they kicked you out because they didn't think you were playing seriously." I'm like, "All right, that's fine, dude." Like,
They're right.
Yep, they're right. I'm not going to keep playing like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, those kind of games in general, and a lot of these are mobile. Like,
Yeah.
it's really a mobile problem. I think Battlefront is a specific case because it's not mobile, which is why I wanted to hound on it. But I also wanted to put the Dungeon Keeper one in there because that was them trying to take an old real video game from PC, move it to phones, and they biffed it.
Yeah. Why do you think that these games like find themselves more often on mobile? Like, I'm not saying there are no pay to win games like on a real, I'm doing air quotes, real console or whatever, but generally speaking, these kinds of games tend to be mobile games. Why do you think that is?
I think it has to do. And I mean, I'm gonna say I'm trying to say it and not sound mean, okay? Because I'm not meaning this as an insult. I mean there's a certain amount of technological literacy with certain things, and video game people that play video games on console or PC a lot are probably more used to seeing these kind of predatory schemes versus I think
And like sussing them out and being
sussing
rejecting
them
them.
out and rejecting them versus say, I mean, honestly, let's think of like people's grandparents that play Candy Crush. They probably don't think about that. They're like, I'll just buy more lives,
Yeah.
not really thinking about that kind of thing. And that's not to say your grandma is dumb or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that they don't think about, they're not used to these tricks, for lack of a
Grandma
better term.
has different expectations
Exactly.
out of a game. Yeah. But no, I think that's a good point. Like, I think when mobile became a really big gaming thing, it became huge because it brought in people who are not gamers. Like, no people who are gamers are the people that like I bought a console, I bought a thing specifically to play games on. There are a lot of people that don't do that, but there are a lot of people with phones that would love to just play games on phones, right? So yeah, so the expectations of a mobile gamer are different from a console gamer in that like they don't even consider themselves a gamer. They're not thinking
No,
about
yeah.
that. They're just like, I'm just having fun, and if it wants me to give them a couple bucks, sure, why not?
Or if you're building your base in like Clash of Clans and you're sitting on a bus because you're probably playing the game while you're like going somewhere or doing
Mhm.
something. I would play when I have to ride the light rail in Seattle. I play a lot of phone games because
Yeah.
that's what there is to do. You know what I mean? So when you're doing that, you're not thinking about it. You're like, yeah, I'll just do it. So that's probably why it's ease, and they know in that moment you don't think of it as a big deal. You're not buying. Also, you're not buying a $500 console. I know phones are expensive, but also in 2026, it's pretty good argument to say that most people need a phone.
Yeah. Well, and you're not buying it to play video games on. Like, I'm
No.
not spending $500 on a phone for video games. I'm spending $500 because I need a phone. Oh, it's nice that it also plays video
Yeah,
games.
so it's just thinking about that on the side.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I play games on it too. Man, phone games. We've come a long way since Nokia Snake, everybody.
Yeah, I know. Not all of it great.
Mm-hmm. Is the timeline where we kept playing Nokia Snake a better timeline? Potentially.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. But also, I had one more thing. Oh, wait, actually, I don't have. Well, I do have one more thing. What you been playing?
Oh, what I've been playing?
What you been playing?
Well, yesterday or day before yesterday, when we were just sitting around hanging out, we played some Destiny Rising together.
We did play Destiny
Oh,
Rising.
we've been playing Destiny Renegades together. First of all,
Oh yeah, we should talk about that.
yeah. So going back a couple of weeks, now that Destiny is done and will receive no more updates other than like things that are, I guess,
the FOMO is gone.
Yeah, they put out a huge update that just like takes away all the FOMO and just like sort of puts the game in a state to where it's just like you can play this forever. It's grindy because Destiny is inherently grindy, but like you can just play it forever. We're not making any more content updates. Have fun, whatever. And it's ironically in probably the best state it's ever been because of that.
Yeah, I think since the very end of Final Shape.
Yeah.
This is like since they released the Final Shape raid and the Final Shape final mission, this is the best Destiny's ever been.
Yeah.
They put Sparrow Racing back in it. They have something called the Pantheon, which is just like a raid boss rush, which is really cool. That's fun to try. And also, it's just like you said, you don't feel like you're on a deadline. That was what made me mad about the first those Destiny seasonal campaigns, is it felt like I was on a deadline.
Yeah.
To finish this.
And it also felt like every time they sort of reset things and like set the new target power level higher, it was like I just have to re-grind the same things so that I can play the same stuff I was already playing before, where it's like they didn't even add new Nightfall maps. They just reset our progress basically.
Yeah.
They stopped doing that because the game's done now.
Yep, they stopped doing that. It's just this is the game.
So it feels worthwhile to grind because I know I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to, because in the past it would be like, well, maybe I should just wait till the next season to get started if I'm going to grind, because I don't want to lose everything.
It's kind of funny now how there's no fun playing PvP at all, too. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a PvP bounty, sorry.
Good luck.
You're not going to get it done because there's just no one playing it.
Yeah.
Because they've lost that whole... I think for the sake of PvP, you need that FOMO to make it work. You need that idea that you're going to like be playing to rank up. You know what I mean? So that doesn't work.
Yeah. But we played through most of the Renegades campaign so far.
Yeah, it's Star Wars.
Yep. We played some Destiny Rising the other day. I've been working ever so slowly on my 100% run of Ocarina of Time 3D.
Ooh,
the 3DS
which
version.
looks really good on with how you're playing it.
Yeah, I've been playing it on my Thor. That's been great. I'm doing all of the things I can do as a kid before I turn into an adult. So I've got all the Skulltulas you can get as a kid so far. And I'm working on the heart pieces now. And then after I get all the heart pieces you can get as a kid, then I will move on and continue my 100% run.
Also, I want to let you know, Tyler has about 7 different copies of Ocarina of Time. So he's not pirating the game. He owns it in so many different ways.
I got a Japanese copy. I got my 3DS copy.
Do you have an N64 copy?
That's what the Japanese.
Oh, the Japanese copy.
Yeah, and I do have 2 copies of the English version because I lost one at one point in my life, and so I just bought another copy of it.
And then you found it.
And then I found it.
Oh,
and
good.
My original copy is the gray cartridge that has the blood in it when Ganon.
That might be worth something.
Might be.
But
so
you're never gonna sell.
Nope.
You shouldn't sell.
But
People shouldn't sell video games like that, everybody.
I remember playing through the newer version where they like sort of censored some of the blood stuff and like being like, wait a minute, I thought that was in this game. And then that's when I realized that sometimes different versions of the cartridge have different versions of the game.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been playing. What have you been playing, Mike?
Okay. Well, we missed last week. I forgot to say, because I had
Yeah.
an early Father's Day celebration with my wife's dad. It was fun. We went to a baseball game. Okay. But
That's a real stereotypical dad activity. Let's go to a baseball
we
game.
do it every year because it's the most dad activity and he likes it. So
That's
it's
great.
fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. So I actually beat Divinity Original Sin 2. I beat that, which was fun. And I got all my side characters' quests done too, which felt nice.
Nice.
I liked it. I Spoiler Town. Can we go to Spoiler Town real quick?
Sure.
I elected to the path where I give everyone source.
Mm.
I made everyone a magician, essentially. Made everyone a wizard. So that way, well, they call it a sorcerer, but it's source like SOURS. SOURC.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So I did that. That was fun. I've been playing some marathon since they redid the marathon update and they reset
I need to
everything.
fire that back up.
It's fun, dude. I like how they've done it. And I've been playing it more with random people. And it's me and my buddy Chris. And then everyone else we play with, just these randoms are really nice. They're all like kind and they all talk, because you have to kind of talk in this game to like make it work. Like, where are we going? What are we doing? And I've used text chat sometimes, but it's a lot easier with a mic, and it's just really fun. And even when we lose, we still like have fun, and it's still a good time. So I've been digging that. I also have learned to just not care about my vault. Like you want to get blue guns and stuff so you can go do the hard thing. But then I found out they do sponsored kits for cryo.
Oh.
So you can get a blue kit that will let you into cryo. So you don't necessarily, even if you miss out, you can try that. So I was like, okay. Because I just want to do the cryo archive really bad.
Yeah.
But that's fun. Been playing Destiny with you. Been playing a little bit of Battlefield 6. They released a new map on that. That's pretty fun. And then I started playing Pokemon Pearl.
Oh, yeah.
Luminescent Pearl, the one that got away.
Yeah. Shining Pearl.
Shining
Luminescent Pearl is like a modded version of.
Okay, so I'm not playing Luminescent Pearl. I'm playing Shining Pearl. But yeah, the Switch version. And that's the one that got away from me. The Pokemon game that I sold with my DS.
Oh,
that I regret to this day.
You could be rich now.
The two consoles that got away, my Sega Genesis and my Nintendo DS, and one of them's my fault.
Only one of them, though?
Yeah, the other one's my mom's fault. Uh-oh. She says she doesn't know what happened to it, but we all know Jackie got rid of that thing.
Ah, dang, dude.
We all know Jackie gave it away. She gave away the Genesis.
Oh, man.
Probably shouldn't call my mom by first name on this podcast, but I want everyone to know what she did, okay?
She's listening right now. I said I'm sorry.
She's like, Michael, I've told you 3 times. I don't know what happened to it. I think what happened is we moved from Alaska and it just got given to Goodwill. But so that's what I've been playing. It's been pretty good though. I mean, this has been great too. We're just hanging out, which is nice.
Just having a good Sunday here, day after California Adventure Run.
But then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled in video remote programming next week.
Yep.
So with that though, things you can do to support us, tell your friends about us.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to codexpodcast.net. They got all our links on that website, including the Discord. We got some new people in Discord, which is sick.
Ooh.
And then with that, Tyler, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.